of 9.8 billion, which have now come back to government, and we are pursuing assets worth 22 billion, assets that were obtained by corrupt means. And we say those assets must be surrendered to the government of Kenya. On the fourth item that I wanted to speak to is on the matter of debt. In fact, if you look at the 10-point agenda, there was a bullet, standalone, national debt. The national debt has been a very big challenge to Kenya. In fact, debt almost brought our country to its knees. You heard what Professor Kidure said, that in 2022, there were 6 countries that everybody believed in the world they were going to default on their foreign financial obligations. One of them was Kenya. And why was Kenya there? Because we had the highest, the largest Eurobond of $2 billion. And I remember my good friend John Buddy saying, I mean, this debt was there, everybody knew it was coming up, and nobody was doing something about it. You know, we were just waiting. And so the first thing when we came into office, we said we can't. This country cannot default, because many people don't understand the consequences of a country defaulting on its foreign obligations. It just turns your economy into something else. Just look at what happened in one of our neighboring countries. I don't want to mention names. When they defaulted, their currency was devalued by 100%. Just imagine Kenya's currency moving from 120 to 240. Would we have a country left here? And you know, there were very many people who were persuaded that the Kenya currency was going to go to 200. In fact, I remember speaking to one of the bankers, who is no longer my friend, because he was among the people who, you know, imagined, they were already piling up dollars, because they imagined that when it gets to 200, they will make a killing. Unfortunately for them, they had to make losses, because the 200 shilling dollar did not happen. So we had to intentionally deal with the debt. What have we done on matters to do with debt? Number one, we made sure that we did whatever it took. And I appreciate that I had to make some very difficult decisions for us to be able to escape that default. We had to cut down on spending by about 300 billion. We had to remove subsidies on unga. We had to remove subsidies on fuel. We had to eliminate, we had to stall some of our projects, because we had to pull back from continuous borrowing. That's number one. Number two, we did not just avoid default. We now went into a plan on how do we reorganize our debt. How do we successfully negotiate our way? I can confidently, that's why we went to the market. We went to the market in February 2024. We went to the market in February 2025. We went to the market in October 2025. And we went to the market again this February. To do what? To do liability management. The debts that were due next year, we now have no debts due in 2027. We have a small debt due in 2028. Then we will go to 2037. We have reorganized our debt portfolio so that it doesn't threaten our fiscal sustainability. And I must thank John Mbadi and his team at Treasury. They have done a very commendable job. Muwapigie makofi. We have also engaged some of our lenders. I do not want to mention names. I have had to go and sit with some of the lenders and tell them, guys, some of these loans, the repayment is too steep for us. You know, some of the interest rates you are charging us are very high. And we have successfully managed to reduce some of the interest rates. We have managed to change some of the structure of the debt so that instead of too much upfront payment, we have managed to negotiate to make them concessional. And today, I can confidently tell the country that we have avoided situations that would put a lot of strain in our budget. And number three, we have also decided that we are going to be innovative. We are going to be creative in how we do public assets. It is no longer tenable for us to continue borrowing. That is why we have said we are not taking any borrowing resources unless it is absolutely necessary. I see some people say there has been a disagreement between Kenya and the IMF. There is no disagreement. We have just agreed on what to do. We have agreed that if we need your money, we will come for it. If we don't need it, we will do with the resources we have. I mean, how does that amount to a disagreement? Are we together? Yes. I mean, is it wrong to be able to stand on your own and do your own stuff? Is that a weakness or a strength? Yes. Tumieni Akili, Bwana. So, what have we done? We have decided to have alternative instruments of financing our development. We went the route of securitization. Many people told us, oh, you are going to do this. Because of securitization, and I must thank members of parliament, when I negotiated with you and I told you, guys, forgo these 7 shillings, it will help us raise money. We raised 175 billion shillings. We returned all the contractors to our roads. We paid them. Today, we have 6,000 kilometers of road going on in Kenya. We have 90% of our contractors are back on site, and new roads are now being contracted because we decided not to continuously depend on the budget. We looked for alternative instruments of financing our road infrastructure. We are doing the same with Talanta. We are doing the same. Look, when I say innovative, I was explaining today in the morning, how did we decide to finance Talanta? The sports fund has been a fund that has been there forever. That sports fund has not achieved much because you find a few, a small project there. Most of the money is lost. Another project there, some cabro in some place, some gate in some place. We decided that instead of spending this money with no accountability, let us consolidate it and do a big project. Today, and somebody was saying, oh, William Ruto has pledged for 15 years money from the sports fund. Yes, we have done it. But at least we have Talanta Stadium complete, standing here. Tell me, sports fund has been there for 20 years. Which other project has it done? Can you show me one project? At least I can show you what it's going to do for 15 years. Are we together? Yes, that's how innovation works. How are we building bombers? Have you seen any budget have you seen any approval of any line of budget in Parliament for bombers? We are building bombers using